Buddy, gonna play a few tonight. Play probably just random courses. Find my phone. Yep. To a hot start. Can't even check in correctly. Here we go. There we go. All right. We'll just hit the random button 5 times, whatever it comes up with. As long as it's not a PGA, we're gonna play it. Starting off tonight, I'm gonna be sipping on a little bit of Star Hill Farm. This is I guess it's a limited release from Maker's Mark. So it's a wheat whiskey. 51% wheat, or 51% soft red winter wheat, 27% soft red winter wheat, malted soft red winter wheat. So 78% wheat. And I'm breaking out this new glass I got from my advent calendar. I don't know if that's visible or not. Probably not. But it's got a cool logo on it. Forgot to bring my other one downstairs, so we're opening a new one. All right, Nihon Yoru. I don't really remember much about this course. So, see if we can get down close to the hole for a chip. Spent all day today at a bourbon release at Evernorth. It's just outside of Midland, Michigan. They were releasing the newest iteration of Wise One, which was a bourbon finished in root beer barrels, and Spirit Walker 6, which is a bourbon finished, a blend of bourbons finished in raspberry, blackberry, and vanilla barrels. So a lot going on in that one. They call that one Kentucky Cobbler. It's pretty cool. It was very cold. I had to stand outside for like almost an hour. Actually over an hour probably by the time we got in to get our bottles. It's like 20 something degrees and snowing like crazy. So that was fun. But we were able to get it. Both of those expressions sold out today, which is kind of surprising for a Thursday release. But anyway, glad we got there. It's a great place to go. But the point of me telling you that was I've had a few whiskeys today, so we will see how the gameplay holds up. This hole can be tricky. Just gotta make sure you get far enough left without going in the water that you can get around this castle thing with your second shot. That should be fine. I couldn't believe how many people were in line today. You think like a Thursday at 11 o'clock in the morning, most people would be working, but I guess there's a lot of us degens that take off work for something like that. It was like 100 and something people in line when we got there, And then people at Evernorth said there were over 200 people in line by noon, which is when they opened. So glad we got there when we did. And as always, if there's people who want to see specific courses or specific shot types or talk about anything like that, or just anything, drop it in the chat. Happy to accommodate. Otherwise, I'll just be here talking to myself, which I don't mind. This one you can play safe over here. It's probably the smarter shot, but I'm just gonna curve one up onto that second fairway. Doesn't really make much of a difference. This Star Hill I really like. I wish I would have gotten a backup bottle. 3/4 of the way through this one, but just very traditional wheat whiskey flavors, which I'm very drawn to. Kind of sweeter, more approachable. Alrighty, this hole, sometimes you can drive it across. Maybe we can. Probably that's what I'll try. Only because I'm not sure I can get there from the shorter fairway. That's fine. With having the outwind, I felt like we probably could get there. Alright, so this one, it's a heavy drop off down the hill, downwind. Give it a run. If I look well illuminated today, it's because I got a replacement giant ring light thing. I bought one off Amazon last week and used it once for a stream and it never worked again. So they sent the replacement today. So you are welcome for that. Did not need the release there. I was overly conservative. Just worried about it coming back into the water. I don't know yet if I haven't paid attention to the news to see if Maker's Mark will be releasing the Star Hill Farm again this year. Last year was the first year, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I hope they do. I hope I hope they keep this one going. That I would have liked to hit a little bit harder. Kind of came off that, didn't hit it super clean, and now I've got this tree corner to deal with, which is going to leave me a longer putt than I want. I have no choice. You can't curve it out of this, so I have no choice but to just take my medicine and take a long putt here on the right side of the green. First miss. Didn't take long. All right. This one can be tricky. This is the easier look. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it's easier than it can be. Sometimes you're kind of tucked behind that tree and you have to do a little curve shot. Sometimes I should be able to hit it straight. As long as I don't totally blow the distance, I should be fine. Good enough. Another pretty straightforward one, but not as easy as it might look off the bat, just because it's got a lot of wind, and a 9 wood takes a lot of wind. So we got to be careful with this. The pin being in the back. If we fly it too far, we're going to go down into that deep bunker. 13-mile-an-hour wind on stouts should give me like 26-ish yards. So 26 plus 204 is like 230. So I actually think just hitting this kind of normal hopefully will work all right. Yeah, worked out. I think I said stouts a minute ago. I meant to say Cosmos. Play Cosmos, not stout. Stouts are for anyone who doesn't know, stouts are one of the ball choices you have in this game, and their benefit, their unique features, they take half the amount of wind. So if you're playing a 7 mile per hour wind, a stout plays like 3.5. The Cosmos play full wind. That's what I use. They play full wind, so it's a little trickier, but you get the benefit is you get a lot more distance, so you can get places where you can't get with stouts. Okay, boy. I don't think I want to be super, super aggressive here because I'm really worried about this coming back into that bunker. It's one where we just take our putt. Let's see if we can remember this hole. Okay, so it's gonna demand some sort of curve from us. We can't just go over this, I don't think. So I'm gonna come back in the tee box, give myself a little bit extra room. I'm gonna go with a high tee, and then I'm just gonna try and curve it just enough to counteract that wind. Too bad. Take that. If I remember correctly, it's hole 18 on this course is a kind of a beast, but we got a long way to go before that matters. So stay focused. All right, a little bit of wind here. Just gonna push this out to the right a little. Fine. Not one I'm looking at as like a makeable opportunity. So let's take a short putt there. This one comes in at 104, almost 115 proof. So higher proof than most of the Maker's Mark offerings, and it says it was distilled in fall 2016 and fall 2017, so that would make it 8 year old basically. Um, Taking the younger of those two. That's not terrible. I don't remember what the MSRP was on this, but it wasn't horrible. It's kind of hard to find, and a lot of times people had to pay more than MSRP. All right, this one's downhill, downwind, and then the green sloping away from us. So I'm gonna be kind of safe-ish here. Take backspin. Probably could have gotten away with bite, but rather that putt than be in the water. This hole I never actually figured out like a good play for. Um, you have to, in order to make an eagle, you have to land in the second fairway and not in one of these bunkers, which is easier said than done. I kind of adopt the hit and hope method on this one. Looks like there's kind of a bigger, I'm gonna try something I don't know if I've tried before. It's kind of a bigger gap just past this bunker where my cursor is to the right. I'm gonna try and see if I can. All right, hit a bunker. It's probably a stupid easy, very reliable play there that I just never learned. This is again a course that was a little bit ahead of my time in terms of when I started trying to be good at this game. I mean, I definitely played this course, but playing it versus trying to actually learn the shots is a totally different beast. So there are some of these old, quote unquote, older ones that I just don't know all the tricks to. And there's not a huge incentive to learn them at this point. All right, straight down the downwind. The green is sloping back towards us though, which is nice. So it's gonna help kill some of that speed. I think so. 16. I don't know. I don't think this is gonna play. Just try to play this like maybe like 105. Not bad. Okay, this was actually not the whole. So this does look challenging in its own right, but this is not what I was thinking of when I said 18 on this course as a bear. Let's see. I don't. I don't think we can go left. That's too much. It's gonna be too much cut. So we're gonna have to go right, around from the right. So right now we're set up at basically 1.5 clicks. We've got. I think we have to hit a high tee. Green is sloping to the right, which is nice. So if this does catch the green, it should kill some of that right to left from the hook we're gonna have to put, or the hook we're gonna have to put on this. Did not cut it enough. Okay, that's all right. Can make this chip maybe. 9 wood for me is about 8 yards per click, so this is gonna be a 4. Then I'm gonna push it decently far out to the right to counteract the break. Yep, and missed the putt. Didn't really matter. All right, 3 over 25. So warm up game. We'll survive. Hey, Michael. It's going pretty good. Just playing a few casual games. All right, let's see what 5 clicks gives us again here. Or 5 taps, I should say. Misty Springs. I don't know this one. Yeah, I just really love the Star Hill Farm. The oak really comes through. The sweetness comes through in like the form of like a butterscotch, kind of like a Werther's to me. That's what I get. Not fruity, no fruit, just caramel, sweetness, burnt sugar, oak tannin. Really nice. Okay, Misty Springs, what do you have in store? I don't know. All right, this is a good look. Give us a little release and straightforward and has a chance. Hit that pretty good too. Kind of surprised that missed. Okay. Would have liked to have gotten that one, but are you frozen? Here we go. Okay. 457, so we're not getting there. So then the question becomes, is it worth it to see if our three wood goes through that? And I think the answer to that is always yes. Kinda. Hit the tree, but no harm, no foul. Got another punch shot opportunity here, I think. I'm gonna dial those in before we're done. All right, this is a very makeable look. This is just green light special. The wind is going to offset the slope. We've got an uphill green, so we can be aggressive. This is just don't screw it up. Push that left. Push that left. Dang it. It was right there. All I had to do was hit it straight. Frustrating. 472 yard par 5. Looks like our obstacle is the second shot because this pin is very protected by those trees. I'm going to take the hit it hard approach. See if I can get far enough down the right side of this fairway that will be open to me. So one thing that people maybe don't know about Golden Tee is if if it looks like there's a tree or something potentially in your way, if it lines you up to the pin and it gives you the club, that is supposed to mean that if you were to hit it straight, you would not hit anything. If if that tree was actually going to be in my way, it would line me up somewhere over here. That's supposed to be the way it works. I think there are instances where that doesn't hold true. Um, but anyway, so the game is telling me if I hit this straight, I should be okay. Let's see if that's true. Just thumb it. Yep, it is true. Michael, are you sipping on anything tonight? We gotta have something to talk about. In a tricky hole here. Looks like we've got the option of potentially going around to from the right, but that's probably not it. It's probably this surround from the left. Get wind back into us. Shouldn't be really a problem. I'm gonna give myself a high T to make the spin a little bit more predictable when it lands. Not bad. Oh, you can't do that, bud. Alright, putting is going to be a problem tonight. There's nowhere to go but up. That's one way to look at it. Okay, this is another very, very makeable look. The wind, again, is counteracted by the green slope. So as long as this lands basically in line with the pin, it should go in. Another close one. Gotcha. No, that makes sense. 4 tens. In some ways, I'm jealous. Do wish I could do that too, but I get that they're long days, especially with that commute. What in the world do you want from me here, Golden Tee? Think if I play, think if I play down to this little grass patch, I should be able to just play it up the river, maybe? I don't know. It's a theory. Should work. The only concern here is just staying under the canopy. If I can just thread it. I can thread it through underneath. Should be all right. Put a little curve on it. It's fine. Rule number 8. This one looks fairly reasonable. I'm going to move myself left so I can push it a little further to the right to counteract that wind. But otherwise, just get it there. Houston. I used to live in Dallas for 6 years during college, so it's not Houston traffic by any means, but it's somewhat relatable. Now where I live in the middle of nowhere in Michigan. If I see like 3 cars on my street, I get just furious at the traffic. So different life for sure. 9 mile an hour wind should equal 18-ish yards. The pin is 124, 149. This with bite should be okay. Might be a little long, but I can live with that. one over, I think, in the front, if I'm not mistaken. That one missed putt. All right, so we've got our classic Jim Z design where he makes you take the easy first shot and the hard second shot, or the hard first shot and the easy second shot. Um, this wind though, I prefer this. I'm just gonna play it up here. Even though I've got the elevation now to contend with, the wind is pretty straight, so I'm feeling all right about this. Even though it's a downhill with this wind and the elevation, I'm gonna give it release. Hmm, it's fine. Not really what I meant to do. Oh, sweet. Congrats on the new house. Yeah, we live on just under 13 acres here, so it's very nice and peaceful. This hole we want our ball to be somewhere in here when we're all said and done. Just a matter of how do we get it there. It looks like I don't I don't think there's an over option, so we're left with around. And the problem being that this wind is fighting us. That is not good. All right, see if we can scrape something together here. I don't know. There's technically a tree like right where my body is, and I don't know if this ball's gonna hit it or if it's gonna be invisible. We'll find out. It's fine. Long putt. Could have been a lot worse though. A little bit of breathing room on this one. This is pretty straightforward. I'm gonna bring it just to the right of the tee box so that when it lands, it can take that slope back to the left and hopefully bring this back near or into the hole. Something like that will work. Surprised how many people are playing this course right now. It's a very old course to have an active contest. Usually you play these and they're just ghost towns, but interesting. Maybe there's something I don't know about. All right, this hole, let's see. We can play straight down the fairway, but no matter what we do, we're gonna be blocked by those trees that way. I wonder if a play, trying to think if a play into this mulch might be a better option. Problem with the mulch is if we get ourselves behind a tree, we can't really curve it. So I think I'll just take the fairway shot and we'll deal with the consequences. I don't know. Think there was probably a better play there that I just didn't see. There's no way this was the best option. Anyway, let's see here. Can't use a punch. I don't think I can go around. It's too much. I think my best bet is to hit something through this gap, this narrow gap on the left side of this tree. I just gotta hope the 4 iron stays low enough. We'll see. Not even close. It's off by a lot. Yeah, so I do have a bag with the 7 driver. Um, it's very course dependent. So like right now on the current courses, I will play the 7 driver only on Hawkeye and only if number one is drivable with the 7 driver, 7 degree driver. I used to play the 7 degree driver on the old tees season one of 2026. You needed the 7 degree driver on Machu Picchu for hole number 15. You don't need it anymore. So right now, the 7 degree driver, I think, is kind of, at least for the current courses, not super necessary. But yeah, there are definitely situations where you want to have it for sure. So having a bag where it's an option is a good idea. Also, any of the PGA courses you play, so any of the real courses like the TPC, Scottsdales, and all that, you always want to carry the 7 degree on those because they're so flat, and the 7 degree gets so much roll that it actually will go farther than an 8.5 degree driver will. So you can drive some of the greens on those. Okay, sure, exactly what I did there. Good look on this one. Since I'm already like a million over par, I'm just gonna be aggressive and try to make this, even if it goes in the water, which it did. Alright. Not my most fun round I've ever had. These old courses are not my favorite thing. Maybe I'll allow myself to skip them on the next one if I randomly select one again. Okay, it's up there. But hell, let's see if we can thread this needle here. Needle threaded to very lackluster result. All right, let's get out of this course to something a little bit more fun. This theoretically should be about the right club. Not quite. So we are going to shoot sub 20 under par, which is not ideal. I go through this. Nope. All right. Misty Springs, you win. Take that off. Get that out of our system here. 17 with a hole in one. Ooh, tough. Tough look. Grand Canyon? No, I don't want this. Okay, Alcorn. Unless somebody really wants to see one of these like super legacy courses, I'm just gonna start skipping them. It's just not that fun to play. Elkhorn is remastered for this year, so this is one that we would play in competition. I don't know the original, what year it originally came out. Maybe I'm just bad. I'm blaming the old course, but maybe I'm just bad at this game. Saved it, but that was rough. Yeah, that was a tough course. All right, I need to get my head back in this. A little bit tougher look than it necessarily always is. Sometimes you're in one of those left tee boxes, and it's you don't have to worry about this tree. You can just kind of hit it straight. Oh, but this is what we got. So we'll just kind of cut it back in. Elkhorns are your favorite? Okay. Yeah, I like Elkhorn. It it humbles you, like starting on like hole 16-ish. Like hole 17 can be a real beast, but it's a fun course. It's demanding but fair. I think my favorite course right now of the current cycle is, or the current carousel is, Celtic Shores. I like that one a lot. Kind of want to hit backspin here, but um, smarter not to. Want to avoid any chance of spinning back into the water. Odds of making that pretty slim anyway, so not really worth the risk reward. Way downhill, gonna have to deal with a lot of wind here. 3 wood though, so it shouldn't be too awful. Gonna push this just a little bit right. Yeah. Very friendly look here. I'm gonna leave this no spin because I want this to land just kind of where my cursor is and trickle down toward the hole. We got a little bit of room behind the pin, so I'm not horribly worried about this going in the water. Hit that a little softer than I meant to. I think a little bit harder that would have gone in, carried further and not taken as much break. This is a pretty boring hole. Just hit it straight. Let's see. Actually, let's try to be. So let's at least try to give ourselves a straight wind. Sometimes on these like easy holes, I have to remind myself that there are better ways to play it than just mindlessly hitting it. So another one where I think just hitting it with nothing, letting the wind do the work. Something has to fall at some point. Saw a highlight from or a clip that Paul Luna uploaded last night of him having an ace on this hole. It was a pretty sweet one. Played a big cut and backspin and went up, went up, or kind of like drew back up the green. Kind of cool. I'm not Paul Luna though. I am just me. A little bit further and that would have been a lot better. Not kicked off the rock. Straight down the hill. Just one I'm just trying to give myself a reasonable putt. Totally fine with that. Find something else to sip on here in a second. Okay, I think this particular look is actually drivable. I think we're gonna try and split that little U shape, little gap in the trees, while curving it to the right. Or I'm sorry, curving it to the left. The wind's gonna help us. See how we do. I'm gonna hold the flyby just so I can learn. If this doesn't work, I can learn what didn't work about it. Just clip the one little stupid pine branch. Irritating. Oh well. If we had laid up, we would have been made the same score, so worth giving it a shot. That definitely is there. I think I probably just had to hit a 3 wood, get a little higher. This one, I'm just gonna try and play as far right as I can so that my second shot is a straighter wind. way uphill, downwind. This is a tough call. Here I'm trying to figure out if the elevation is going to counteract the wind. I think I think it will. Not quite. So I needed to hit that a little softer, or probably just a different club. I think I have to chip this with an 8 iron. I don't think a 5 iron gets over that. A little lip. This is the whole. Okay, so interesting. So I haven't seen that shot, Michael, but I believe you for sure. That makes sense. Yeah, the 7 degree can definitely come in handy. Some of those uphill holes, it'll just like get a weird, it has this weird interaction. Um, and yeah, like you said, it'll just kind of ramp. There was a course, what was that course last year? Basin something, Basin Lake, maybe. And there were some ramp holes with the 7 degree driver. So I know what you're talking about. I just haven't seen it on that hole, but I'll have to try it out. Come on, one of those has to go in eventually, right? There's three options on this hole depending on the tee. There's the little strip here. There's the fairway up there. And then on some tees, you can actually make it all the way over there. I think from here, our only option is, in my opinion, the toughest one, which is this landing it on this little fairway here. Try and throw this back behind the pin to the left and spin it back. Take it 5 wood to give myself a little bit more spin. Did not hit it hard enough. Right idea. Yeah. There's that reminds me, like on Kings Canyon, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but there are putts on Kings Canyon specifically that you can't make. Like they're too far. Um, so there are definitely instances where you're better off not making the green. So like you're saying, that might come into play on that hole too. I don't know. Go a little. How is that short? Wow, that really surprised me. Okay. Um, so what I'm thinking here is I'm gonna try and click chip this with my gap wedge. That would normally be 7 clicks, but I'm gonna give it 2 extra because of the elevation in the sand. I'm gonna try and do 9 here. And then the wind is gonna push this a little bit, so I'm just gonna hit this basically straight. Not quite. Yeah, it's a pretty bad miss there. It's one you really should not be missing. Straight down the hill, big left to right wind, 358. That's our 10.5 should be okay. I'm gonna hit that because I want the extra height. And anything that lands left will kick on. So I'm gonna just basically hit this dead straight. This hole with Cosmos, it becomes pretty straightforward. You just hit it past everything. You do not need to be tempted by that little fairway to the left, a little layup spot. And benefit on this particular look, we've got a straight wind. So all we got to do is just push this a little bit right to account for the slope, and we should be in good shape. So this hole is the one that can sometimes be, yeah, this is going to be interesting. Short iron in hand, meaning we've got a ton of wind at play. We've got a 16-mile-an-hour wind coming in and from the left. The pin is down in that little finger. So let's do our math here. So let's call that 30 because it's not quite straight into us. So let's call it 30 yards. So we have 118. We want something like 148. 150 is good. Um, got to push this a little left. And then because the wind is coming straight into us and it's so far downhill, I'm not going to put any spin on this because it's probably going to act like bite with nothing. So I'm just going to push this a little left and see how we end up. Pretty good. Yeah, you see how like I put no spin on that and it's still backed up. That's just because it's going into so much wind that when it lands, it's almost kind of going backwards. You kind of think of it that way. If I had put bite on that, it would have been just, or even, or backspin. Like it would have just been crazy amount of rip back up the green. Okay, down the hill, 13-mile-per-hour wind. Pin is all the way in the back. Anything long is dead. Anything short is dead too in the water. 13, 26. I'm gonna hit release. Just push this a little right. Not bad. I think it was one over. Or did I miss a putt early? One or two over. Anyway, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab something else to drink. There. Get logged in here and then I'll pour something. Have a good night, Michael. Nope. Nope. I already did this one on stream once. Kangaroo. If I recall correctly, this is a pretty, I think it's a pretty tough one. This was a re-teed 2 years ago, last year. And I think it might have been a PGA exclusive, and at that time I didn't have a PGA machine, so I'm not sure I really played this much. I go with the Michter's Toasted barrel. A huge fan of everything Michter's puts out. It's one of my favorite ones. It's a very unique barrel characteristic that you get out of it. And for only, what is it, 91 proof? Yeah, it's got a ton of flavor in it. It's not watered down at all. So I enjoy this one. Let's see if I also enjoy this golf course. Don't know if I will. I don't think this is quite drivable, but I should be able to get close. Yeah, make our chips and we're in good shape. So good. They know what they're doing over there at Michter's. All right, this hole, if I remember correctly, it's just, yeah, it's just a matter of getting the right distance. So we're just gonna hit a 10 and a half, give ourselves a little bit more control on the green. Not the best shot I've ever hit, but at the end of the day, eagle is the best we're gonna do. So take it. Have a chance. Eh, not bad. Well, two better through three. Let's see if we can keep our hand on the wheel and not blow this. Oh. We're just, I think we just, on this one, yeah, I think it's just get around this corner. I don't think there's any complications. Yeah, should be fine. Long approach in, but it was always going to be long. 600-yard hole. Ooh, probably a little more aggressive than I needed to be there, but I just like that look a lot. It didn't take long. We blew our one better and or two better in precisely one hole. Get it back. Get it back. Okay. Should be able to just go right over everything here. I don't even think we need a high tee. Don't think. Sit. And you missed the chip. Okay. Back to even. We could take the positive approach and say that's why we made the first two. I truthfully don't even remember much of this course at all. Looks like a little tester here. I think we got to go high T, cut back into the wind, land it just short of the pin. Ooh, I'll take that. We're lucky than good, I suppose. Bounce it right off the rock wall. Why not? We're back in it. Vibes are high. Okay, 22 plus 250, or yeah, 22 plus 252 is 274. I need 282 out of this. I think that's about right. I think that was a very sloppy one better. Two misses and three hole outs. I'm honestly just gonna play this kind of safe-ish. I'm just gonna play it over. I don't think there's a huge benefit to getting it further down the fairway, and that brings in a lot of ricochet opportunities. So that's what I'm gonna do here. Looks like if we want any chance to get there in two on this one, we've got to be over in this little area so we can play up through the valley. I think for over here, yeah, there's no chance. So, question then becomes, how do we get there? Might be a little too far back. Let's see. Oh, we still got it. Okay, anything left is gonna bounce, is gonna be okay. As long as we're not too far left and hit this plateau here. Realistically, something middle of the green would be pretty good. Like that. What's up, Nadric? I know you're sipping on something. What do you have? This shot is just very hard. All right, just just hit it. Come on, wind. Fuck. I mean, darn it. Gotcha. All right, gave one back there. That was an awfully tough shot, though. The wind pushing the same direction as the green and it being downhill. That was always gonna be tough. Okay. This one I'm just gonna try and land it in the center of the green and let it, if anything, push a little left. I don't really need it to though. Just give myself a putt. Good shot. This is like maybe drivable, but the problem is if I don't get this, well, it's not drivable because even if I were to hit the green, there's no way it would stay with a high tee. So the name of the game here is give myself the easiest second shot, which is not actually as easy as you might think with this wind. Stay there, stay there. It's actually exactly what I wanted, so let's see if I can pay it off. Literally bounced over the hole. Yeah, I've had a bunch of those tonight. Nothing seems to be going in, but we're getting close. So maybe it's coming. Hit a big hook down the fairway here. That didn't work. This is a properly bad place to be. I think I just have to take my medicine here. Being down in that bunker wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Really sure what I did wrong on the drive. I guess Just need to take a little bit more time, and there's some uh branch or something that I must have hit. Another tough one here. Be good if we could end up in this corner. Let's see. Oh, woof. Things are going poorly. Make the chip. I'm gonna go actually 5 iron. This should be 5 clicks. There we go. All right, saved it. It was always an eagle. It always looked like an eagle. It was never going to be anything else. Zero doubts. This is just a rude course. All right. I can't hit the shot I. Maybe I can. Maybe I can hit this. All right, I'm going to try a full here. That worked out okay. Hmm. Pretty generous look here with the wind helping us push it back to the right while the green wants to push it to the left. Those two should counteract each other. So then all we have to worry about is our number. Slightly up the hill, slightly into the wind. Well, it's a putt. 28. I think that was one over, maybe. I think par was 29 there. It was a scrappy one. 3 hole outs. All right, let's pick something I actually know. I know this one. If we can't put up a score on this one, we've got bigger problems. All right, 31 is the worldwide record. And that's in Holt, Michigan. That's close to me. I don't know who that person is. Scon H. I'll look that up real quick. I'm not going to say their name out loud. I didn't know there were any players in Holt. Never heard of that person. Interesting. I'm going to switch to my 7 degree bag just for this first shot. I think that with that club, I will be able to reach the screen. Should be worth a stroke. Get the chip at least. But now I gotta play the rest of the round without my 4-iron for that 7-degree driver that I will not need again. And I didn't need on the first hole, technically. Not one, the friendliest look I've ever seen. This wind. Give her a run. That's all we can do in this world. A couple of years ago, this was like the easy course when it came out. This was the one that you played if you wanted to like set a scoring record. It's pretty straightforward. Everything's right in front of you. Lots of whole lot opportunities. Not a lot of places to get in trouble, really. Just check the screen. I don't think it's tier. No, it isn't. It's just a shadow. Okay. So hopefully this lands just behind the pin and spins back. Didn't hit it hard enough. Woof. That was real bad. And missed the putt. It's always best to compound errors. When you make a mistake, try to follow it up with another mistake so that you lose multiple strokes. That is the strategy. Uphill, downwind. Epoch, quad, cask, finish, rye. You are the king of king of craft. Where is Epoch? I don't even know what that is. Baltimore. Okay. Quad finish meaning like quad barrel? Quad cask? This is very makeable. Oh, or it would be if I had my 4-iron. Um, yeah, let's try a little fancy one. Try to run this up. Will not hit it hard enough. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Sounds good. kind of in a position now in this round, having missed two shots where we have to go for everything. There's no reason to play anything safe at this point. Technically only one over because I did hole out number one, but I feel like I'm two over, and I want them both back. So we're gonna go for everything. Jamaican rum, toasted oak, Madeira, and single malt. Wow, that's a lot going on. That sounds really good. Is it? It's a bourbon? Oh, rye. You said rye. It's a rye. Okay, that sounds good. 279 minus 14 is 265. What's the price point on that? Pretty reasonable. I want to go. What's that? Not bad. Think you're really gonna like that bottle, that rye that I grabbed for you today. Mm. 'Kay. Well, this is a real not friendly look. This doesn't have to be this way. Golden tea. I'll take that. That was a tough setup for this hole. Usually that hole's like an 8 iron and it's just straight. Yeah, I got a bunch of them to box up from today, so I'll get to that this weekend and get everybody squared away. We got to find at least one hole out in the last four holes. I can't play Baja at one over. That's not acceptable. I just like to play this one as far down as I can. Sand isn't really a barrier. So this one was actually Middle West. The that rye was Middle West. It's a Middle West rye, but it's not the Middle West dark pumpernickel. It's just like a I guess a regular rye. Oh, come on. They also had a they had a MGP double barrel bourbon, but it I didn't love it, so I didn't feel it right offering it to people. I don't think it was very good. Go a little. Go a little. Do not hit that rock. You hit the rock. All right. Well, it's the putts. Remember that tip about compounding errors earlier? It's one to keep in mind. So what did we learn there? We learned that a Michter's toasted barrel is bad for golden tea. Good for sipping, bad for golden tea. That's what we learned. That's what we're gonna go with. Let's drop a 30 on Celtic. That's doable. That's doable. Depends on number three. Get back to my regular bag here. Should not need the 7 degree. Check on the dogs, see what they're doing. Okay, this hole is very straightforward. You just play it up to the corner. That would have been nice. Would have been nice. All right, let's see if three is drivable. I don't have a good wind. Do not have a favorable look here, and that's unfortunate. Really need this one to be drivable for a 30. Yeah, let's give it a shot. And I had a big slice. Kick forward. Kick. All right, gotta make this chip. There we go. Stole one. Four, or no, I'm thinking of five, I think. It's another one, another swing hole where it can sometimes set up drivable, sometimes not. Do not have the drivable look, but we can make a chip. So just get it up near the front of the green. Fine. 70 yards into the wind. I pushed it right. Okay. Hmm. Be a night of almost. This whole, I, it may not be obvious if people aren't as familiar with these courses, but the play is just to get into this little finger here, finger of the fairway. Ideally, a little bit further up than that. This will be fine, but if you could be a little bit further left, it's better. Going up the hill, so the wind's not going to play as much. We're not going to get as much spin. They're drivable par four. I don't even think we need a high tee on this. I think we can just hit this hard and should be fine. Thought I might have missed that. That would have been embarrassing. Okay, this is the easy setup for this hole. Um, if this is into the wind or if it's just a longer setup, playing out into the rough is the play. What you want to avoid is rolling back into that dip in the fairway. But here we can just go over it. Interesting look here. A lot of right to left wind, right to left green. Either we have to throw it. I think we. I think we have to throw it beyond this bunker and bring it back. I think that's the best play. And push it from enough out. Short forward hole here. Just a matter of how aggressive do I want to be. Do I want to put bite on this? Make sure I have an easy putt, or do I want to leave it naked and try to make it? Let's try to make it. Oh, I hit it too soft. I want to get on top of this mound of rough in this hole. Good enough. Pushed it too much. Really aggressive for no reason whatsoever. Oh, what the hell are you doing, bud? Shake that off. Nothing I can do about it now. Full meltdown. That's what you logged in for. That's what you came for. That was about as bad as it gets. Figure out something else to drink here. Okay, mental reset there. Kings Canyon. Let's try that out. I'm gonna switch to Old Louisville. This is a 9-year single barrel. This one was a gift actually. So I don't, I haven't had this one in a long time. Really don't remember too much about it. It's a nice dark color. 113 proof. Very caramely. All right, let's actually try to put up a score here. I'm doing a lot of yapping. I've been doing a lot of golden tea playing. Okay. Maybe like kind of savory flavor off the bat. Super oaky, dark fruit. At the point where I'm not even sure why I'm doing the things I'm doing. Blame it on the trackball. Maybe we've got some lotion on there or something. That would be an excuse. Okay, hole 4. Let's see. I think this is the, yeah, this is the kind of fun one. So this is a drivable par 5. The pin being all the way on the right kind of sucks because the only way to get there is a big hook, which means our ball is going to end up toward the left side of the screen. But it's a straight putt no matter what, so should be fine. Okay, got our 2. with a tougher look on this one too, where the trees in our path. Gonna have to cut something back in. Seriously, that missed being pinned like right next to the pin by like a foot. Oh, it's just one of those nights. I need to shake it up. Dodge is one of the easiest courses in the entire game. So if I cannot do this, I will be logging off. Been going for almost 2 hours anyway. Sure. Not a drivable look on one, so we'll just play it up, give ourselves a good second shot. One you're thinking about making. There's a punch I can play. Let's try this. I don't really know what the forehand punch does. Didn't quite carry far enough. Caught up in the collar. Okey. Two, the only thing just to be careful of is if you land short in that textured stuff, it'll stop there. It won't kick forward. Dang. Sure would be nice if some of these started flying tonight. It really would. There we go. Finally, we got one. Yeah, so I don't think I love this old Louisville a whole lot. It's very like I don't know how to describe it. It's like a very like dark and savory style. It's just not my thing. Prefer more like brighter, some of the more fruit forward bourbons. It's very like stone like not stone fruit, but like dark fruit, like plum, raisiny, syrupy sweet. It's not my thing. Okay, so far so good. I th I think I can hit this far enough to get into that second segment of the fairway. Find out. Hit it clean. Yeah, good enough. Certainly wouldn't have to. If you wanted to just play the shorter segment, that would have been perfectly fine. All right, 100, 106 plus 18 is 124. I hit this kind of hard and hopefully spin it back. Give it a chance. When you have those holes where there's really no trouble around the green, you shouldn't be thinking about how do I get this as close as possible. You should be thinking, how do I make, what's the best chance of making this shot? That's kind of the difference. I think the 4 wood gets high enough to get over this tree. Think. Yeah, plenty high enough. This one you can either play it up. There's 2 ways to play it, probably depending on the wind. You can play it straight up the fairway, at least from this tee box, or you can play it over here. I'm gonna play it over here because that gives me a straighter wind on our second shot. And then if I hit this a little bit hard, it should land behind the pin and maybe come back toward it. A little too hard. Maybe like a 115 would have been just about right there. This is a hole that you can get in trouble for sure. You have to make sure you clear this barn. That's job one. If you land short of it, you're absolutely screwed. Even if you go too far and you're in the water, that's better than being short. Um, but obviously, try not to go in the water. I'm gonna hit a 6 wood kind of hard. I don't need a close putt here. I just need it on the green. It's fine. Almost missed it. Very makeable look here. We got the outwind, just pushing a little bit to the right. We've got the green that's going to want to pull it back to the left on the backspin. Did not hit that. I'm surprised I didn't hit that hard enough. I really miscalculated something there. Okay, so there's a thing in Golden Tee where you, on the click chips, get a bad pullback sometimes. That's what just happened there. There are theories about how you can prevent it. I think it's just a flaw in the roller. All right. I gotta find one. One off. Nice thing is, if there's a course where you're gonna find one, it's this one. Still leading this contest by one, not that that means anything, but I don't. This is a really weird look. So usually you've got to usually this plays way longer, and you've either got to lay up like through this to play through this gap in the barn, or you've got to lay up over here somewhere. With this short look and this outwind, I'm just gonna hit it as far as I can and play it out of the dirt up there. Unless this is some weird out of bounds, which it isn't. Yeah, we're totally fine here. So that would have been a cool one. Man, I played this course. I don't even know how many dozens of times, and I'm seeing looks that I don't remember at all. I don't remember this look at all. Usually we're always over here, playing over that barn. This is odd. Nice thing is that the pin isn't on that center tier, which makes it very difficult. I think with this wind, I can just kind of push it out a little right. As long as I don't clip this branch, be all right. Just give me one forward hop. Take that. It's fine. Why? That's a tough miss. Another weird look. Usually this is a long one you gotta play. I mean, you still have to play the same kind of shot, but it's normally more difficult than this. We're just gonna play as far right as we can so that we don't have to worry about that tree on our second shot. What's the New Year's resolution? Still is very similar to the one we played a few ago, where it's just a matter of getting over that barn, but not too far. You can bounce off the roof. That's not bad. Ideally, you have a wind back into you to help here, but we don't have that in this case. So I think I'm just going to do a high six wood. Maybe take one bounce. Not bad. Okay, still need to find one. Still one over. Just want to be in the dark color here. What was the New Year's resolution? Are you trying to finish a bottle before you open one or something like that? Go a little. Go a little. Whatever I did to upset the Golden Tea servers tonight, I humbly apologize. Cha- Yeah, I'm really bad about that. Clearing out bottles. I always want to try the new thing. This is not like a makeable look for sure, but should be reasonable for an eagle. Gave myself a chip, which we've seen how that goes tonight. Come on. All right. 1/29. 2 a week. That's a lot. Um, I also said I wasn't gonna buy so much this year, and I've completely blown that. So I've at least stuck to the one resolution I had, which was no backup bottles. We've at least done that. So, oh shit, I don't want that. Quit out of this real quick. We never play TPCs if we don't have to. I think this can be my last one tonight. Well, let's rip Desert Valley. Scoreable, but can be very difficult too on a few holes. Really like to hit up 130 tonight. Okay, one is always just a big cut 10.5 degree driver. In a spot right now where I feel like every putt's gonna miss. Not the most confident feeling in the world. Okay, this one is quite makeable. Send it just behind the hole. Bring it back. A little too hard. Trying to decide what I'll go with for my nightcap. I think I might go with that Heaven Hell 19. I've been thinking about that all day. Another makeable one. Just have to guess the wind appropriately. Almost. Did you uh did you buy any of the cask and point ones today? Or I think it was today. Maybe it was yesterday. I think it was Public Barrel. Oh, you're not on that one? Okay. This hole gets me more than any other one on this course, and it's not even hard. But that's about as good as I can do. Yeah, I dropped down a lot in a lot of my Patreons. I was just like some of them I was paying so much money and I'm just not clear what I was getting for it. Especially considering like some of them, all the bottles make it through all the tiers, so it's like, why would I pay so much more? This actually should be pretty much perfect. Ah, I've screwed up this shot all night, so I feel compelled to hit it to redeem myself. Did it again. Man, just not super sharp tonight. It probably has nothing to do with the fact that I've been drinking whiskey since noon. I don't think, I can't imagine why that would have any effect on my motor skills or judgment. Wind is not ideal for this hole. Just crushed it. All right. 1 over through 9. Okay, the fairway, second fairway is not reachable, which is fine. Just play to this little island. So they're claiming, since they set me up at this, and I think I'm gonna hit this just to prove a point. They're claiming that this will not hit that tree. Because if they set you up straight at the pin, it's not supposed to hit the, they're telling you that's not gonna hit anything. I do not believe that. Let's see. Yeah, I was correct. So I can feel morally superior while giving away a stroke in the real world. Down six, crosswind is our problem here. Well, it hasn't worked once yet tonight, so let's keep hitting fulls until I get it right. Still didn't get it right. I'm not gonna mess with trying to get over plenty of distance from here. 2 over through 13. Okay. Not too shabby. It just ignored all of the wind. Pretty. This is about as easy as this hole ever gets. Usually the wind's going the other way and it's a bear. Sit. Jeez Louise. Oh, crazy. The stuff I'm missing tonight is this is basically an impossible shot. So we've got 16-mile-an-hour wind to the right with a half gap wedge, and it's down 10, water all around. Got literally no idea what you want me to do here. It's the best I could do, I think. One more pour, one more game. I'm gonna pick Acoma Mesa, which is the easiest course of this cycle, and hopefully it's easy enough that even I can't screw it up. Okay, going with I selected the Buckner's 13. Nearly a hazmat. 0.25% off. Last round. For real this time. Hey, if we can steal this one, probably should have click chipped that. See if anyone else got that. Yeah, so one person got that one. Who is that? Wonder Kid. Oh, yeah. Well, of course he did. I'm coming for you though. It's not going to be that easy. I was a huge fan of these Buckner's releases last year. The 15 obviously was amazing. The one I have is a buff turkey, but the 13 even. I get a lot of that like um kind of grape note, which is my favorite tasting note in bourbon. The the best example of it I've ever had. Let's go. Let's go. Was is Eagle Rare 17. I get that strong grape and cherry notes in that one. Can't afford one of those bottles, but that's my number one overall bottle I've ever tried. Okay, this is pretty makeable. I'm gonna go up a club, backspin, hopefully throw it just behind to the right and bring it back. Give it a shot. Okay. It's only 9:30. I feel like it's midnight to watch some chair company tonight, I think. Okay, uphill. It's gonna kill a lot of the wind. I'm gonna go 5 iron. Try to bring it back. Come on. Oh, a lot of great shot points in this round already. Got the one hole out, but we need a couple more, I think. It's what the people want. Over it again. This hole's very boring now. It's just hit it up here. Preferably stay in the fairway. Hmm. Not an ideal look. Oh boy. Conundrum here is, do I hit 8.5 and like try to skip it off the rock onto the green? Or do I hit a high 10.5 and hope that the wind will keep me on the green? Oh my goodness. Or do you just do none of the above? Just absolute, just trash. Mother God. I mean, that was a hard look on that hole, but I didn't even give it a prayer. All right. Oh, skip hard. I think we've learned sometimes it's just not your night and be better off doing something else. Okay, even par through nine. Got the hole out and then the one miss. popped. That's kind of weird. Yeah, this one, depending on the wind, you can play it two ways. You can play it over here. You can, so you can play it up here on this mountaintop, or with this wind, I'm actually just going to play it over here. You want to get as far to the right of this fairway as you can. If it was like a wind back the opposite direction or a strong crosswind, I'd play it up at the top. But with this outwind, I can, I'm not worried about that. Okay, tricky wind here, but with the 4 iron, it's probably not going to matter too much. Fine with that. As long as you hit the green on that hole, you're fine. Some weird chips you can have if you don't hit it. Okay, this wind, think about giving this a run. That wasn't very good. Sit. Son of a less than thrilled with that effort. Saved it. Pretty easy look on this one. It's made it. Eh, Still on pace for 30, even being one over. I think I'm one over. This is the last shot I'm like really super and worried, not worried about, but paying a lot of attention to. Stay. Yeah. See, I shouldn't have hit bite there. Saved it. Okay. All right, let's finish this off for a 30. Gotta have one tonight, even if it is a coma. Still counts. Just means less. Got Pretty happy with that. Tricky shot. They've really adopted on this second season of 2026 these really short, high wind par threes on number 17 on pretty much every course. So there we go. All right, we got 130. Sorry to let you down for every other round, but this is what you get when you watch my channel. All right, have a good night, everybody. Catch you later.